weren't pros.
I know, but we wanted to be.
Okay. Pros use...
The pros use at least 2 cameras.
Pros use at least 2 cameras. Help wanted, camera A, scene 20, take 1.
Take 3.
Take 4.
That's right.
Sorry, take 4.
My camera people, get familiar with the other cameras. Get familiar with the XL1, get familiar with the 301, because I'm going to be throwing you guys on different things. Load up the different lenses on the XL1, try it out. You know, just don't break the camera. I wasn't achieving my full potential being a cinematographer. My true talents don't really lie in cinematography. You have to have a certain artistic eye that I think I lack.
The lighting's been different every single day, so I don't know how that's going to work.
Never mind the fact that some of the footage is completely unusable because it's completely blown out because apparently they forgot where the aperture was. Scenes don't match up, shots don't match up.
I'm concerned about lighting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm concerned that, like one shot, the light's going to look one way, and then when we cut to the other person, it's going to look like they're in a different room in a different movie.
Yeah.
The camera didn't move enough. Was one of the things. Especially when there were car situations, it was fairly static. You didn't see much walk and talk, or people came in or were found in static positions, in the bar room, in the car. Again, as I'd mentioned a lot, seated on couches. There was just no movement that took us one way or another.
So, I mean, what I learned as a cinematographer in Help Wanted is that I'm not the world's greatest cinematographer, I'm not the strongest cinematographer, and I probably shouldn't do any more cinematography from here on forward.
Oh yeah, the 3 cameras.
We had 3 cameras on set, camera A, camera B, and camera C.
We were always told about how they didn't want like a ACTV, television setup. But for those of you who know, a television setup is a wide shot and 2 close-ups. That's how they shoot American Idol. That's how they shoot every Friends episode. It's a wide shot and 2 close-ups. It's not how they shoot movies. Movies are shot with 1 camera. Like, certain movies use like 72 cameras, but that's not necessary.
When a hotel is exploding.
Yeah, when a hotel is exploding.
But when people are talking, you don't have 3 cameras rolling all at once. You break it up, and it saves time. One thing I did do that I stand by and I think was a good decision as a cinematographer to this day, and people can argue with me, was I insisted that we use multiple camera setups to save time.
Like having 3 cameras, I think, rolling the whole time was a terrible idea.
That was my idea, that was my brainchild, and I think that was a good idea.
When you think about it, it might be a good idea because you're like, oh, we have 3 times as much footage in a third of the amount of time, but it wasn't like that. It took long because you set up 3 different cameras.
I think it saved us a lot of time. People say, well, it took a long time to do certain setups, but looking back on it, it would have been longer to have 1 camera set up, break down, and shoot from both sides.
Yeah.
Like setting up 3 cameras on a tripod takes forever. And when someone's watching it, like minutely, like, oh, this is my masterpiece. And he's just sitting there directing 3 cameras at once.
And I wanted those 3 cameras rolling as much as possible, getting as much footage as possible, and as many setups as possible. And because I also knew I was going to be editing this piece, and so by being the editor on this, I wanted to have as much footage as possible, as much cutaways as possible. We had a lot of long, hard days, but I think in the end that was still a smart move to do. So that was like the one good thing I think I did as a cinematographer. Definite good decision I made.
Yeah, I mean, this is the product of our times, isn't it? I mean, everybody's got a camera. Everybody's got you have YouTube, for example. Everybody's got a pitch at doing something. But what happens is that it's the children's crusades sometimes. People go off and say, I'm going to make my movie, and they really haven't thought all the elements through enough. And it's a catch-22. I mean, you gain experience by doing it. At the same time, you don't want to put all your money into that basket and find out that your first experience of doing it is a disaster.